Welcome to From the Heart with Kathy King and myself, Rob Schultz, sponsored by Artisan Training Dance Retreat.
We're releasing weekly, inspiring interviews with our family of AIT mentors, and that's why we're here today.
Our intention is to lean into topics of inspiring moments that are stepping stones toward your dreams and bring more love to the world on our adventures through life. Every week, we'll share inspiring moments from our mentors that will fill your heart and bring inspiration into your life. So today I would like to introduce one of our AIT mentors, Becca Sweitzer, who I love. She is brilliant. She's super talented, super humble, and we always see each other at Coffee Bean. And
yes.
If you don't know what Coffee Bean is, it's an LA thing, but it's around Vegas or anything. But she's just a beautiful soul, and I love her. And I'm so grateful to have her as part of the AIT mentorship. Our mentors, and I would like to give you just some of her credits. And I'm just going to give you this much, but the list is like this much. So she's been in La La Land, Hairspray, choreographer of G.L.O.W on Netflix, correct?
Oh no, I was in that.
Oh, you were in G.L.O.W. Oh,
I was in the pilot of G.L.O.W. Marguerite Derrick's choreographed G.L.O.W.
So
I would love that credit.
I would love that credit. Some of our other credits: America's Got Talent, Jennifer Lopez, Lenny Kravitz, Jay-Z, and let's give a big congratulations to the newly nominated Emmy show. We're here on HBO, so congratulations. That is amazing. And you choreographed that, right? Correct?
I did, yes. I choreographed multiple episodes of it, and we actually, incidentally, we were shut down by COVID. We had more to shoot, so it was bittersweet, super awesome, but also like painful because we didn't, they got a season 2, so hopefully there'll be
congratulations
more.
That's amazing.
That's huge.
At some point, yeah, we'll get to do more, I think.
So cool. So
crazy.
I just want to say, you're just, when I just know who you are and just like your talent, and you're just so kind and loving, and you're a person on the front line, let me tell you. So I appreciate that about you.
Thank you
getting people information, and just being a team leader out there in the world. So I just love that about you.
Oh, thank you.
Aw. All right, Becca, let's jump right into some stuff. We're going to dig into some questions, and I think our students will really enjoy hearing this from all of our mentors. What's a favorite teaching memory that you have from your career?
One of my favorite teaching memories is, I used to teach I was teaching on convention for a while, quite a few years back, and I didn't start out as the tap teacher, but I have, a pretty extensive tap background, and I sort of just got roped into teaching some tap, and all of a sudden I woke up one day, I was like, I guess I'm like one of the main tap teachers. I don't know how that happened. But one of my favorite things was when, you know how conventions are, you have all different levels and people with different backgrounds, right? And as we all know, not everybody taps or even has the opportunity, right? Not every studio has a strong tap program. It just, it varies. So I used to, weirdly, and I didn't expect it, I used to find that I would bond really well with the non-tappers who would stay and take my tap class. I would kind of because I couldn't help myself, give a little bit of shade to the people who walked out, right? Because I'm like, you guys, you don't understand. You might not know, but I'm going to make this so fun for you, and I'm not going to leave you out. I'm not going to leave you behind. And some of the progress that I saw from the people who didn't think they could hang and ended up just growing, whatever that was for them, that they saw growth. I would see their faces just kind of light up, and we would vibe, and I would be like, okay, you guys work on that. I know you kind of know what's happening. I'd be like, all right, let's have a talk. So I don't know, it just kind of became a thing that was one of the parts of it that I looked forward to. And actually there was a student that found me on social media years later and was like talking about how he started taking tap after that class and that he like fell in love with it. And I was like, you know what, that's it, that's the thing. Like, it was just like a really cool, yeah, it was a cool experience that I didn't expect either. It just kind of happened. And then I started kind of seeking it out because I was like, I like this. I like trying to bond with these people, especially the ones that like, you know, probably had a bunch of their friends like, you know, I'm not really a tapper. I'm just gonna go like have a snack or something. And so like, it was really meaningful to me that they, you know, stepped into that room not knowing what was going to happen or really having maybe the confidence and just doing it anyways. I was like, really cool.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that so much.
I love that too. You know, you're opening people's eyes and you never even know it. And then years later, they're like, boom, boom, boom. And you're like, that's a treasure that you have for the rest of your life and forever and ever. So thank you for sharing that. What's some inspiration you can give to our younger dancers right now?
Oh, goodness. Well, I mean, look, we are all, whether you're young or older, whatever age you are, we are all just trying to just find our way through this. This is very new. It's literally new for all of us. So it presents challenges for everybody. So I would say, first of all, like, you know, take it in stride and don't be too hard on yourself. Cause like, you know, we're all trying to adjust and make the most of a not great situation. But I would say like, you know, cause a lot of us are home more and you have time, you know, try to see what you can fill into that time, whether it's like, you know, digging into dance history or like, you know, not just watching, you know, dance related things that are like 2000 and forward, but maybe like looking back, you know, ask your teachers, like what, you know, what are your favorite musicals or dance references, right? Because the probability is that like anything that like younger dancers that you're motivated by probably was inspired by something else that came before it. So it's kind of cool. There's like a wealth of things to look at beyond maybe what you are aware of in the past 10 years. So I would say like, you know, maybe lean into that. Also, you know, the kind of cool thing about all this is there's so much access to dance classes and information online. So like, you know, one of my favorite qualities in a dancer is versatility. So I would say like, you know, maybe try something that either isn't accessible to you or you were nervous to try. You can do it in your house. No one's looking. You know what I mean? Right? Like you can just give it a shot. And, you know, maybe it's not your thing, but, you know, you can just, I don't know, try a couple things. And, you know, if it's not your thing, no big deal. And if it doesn't go well, no big deal, right?
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Such a good perspective. You know, everything is available right now. You hop on Google and you say, where's the next free dance class? And you can find it. Yeah. So great. Awesome.
And YouTube with all the dance videos from Fosse to ever, like all the great musicals. And like, dude, that's what I do at night. I'll go back and watch and I'm just blown away. And then you see, oh, that was there, and we've taken that and moved it. And the kids are like, oh, no, no. Do your history. So I think that's great to do research. You know what I mean? Know your history of dance, because it's so important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. 100%. Awesome. All right, Becca, here's a big one. This one gets deep in our soul right here.
Okay.
Why do you love to teach? What do you love teaching? Why do you love to teach?
I mean, just in the most basic sense, like I love seeing light bulbs go off. I just love like when you see someone make a connection where it's, you know, either they hadn't thought of it that way before, or it's like maybe they heard it a bunch of times and it's just like that 10th or 20th time the way you said it that like helps a student actually like start to begin to master a skill. Like I just think that's amazing. And you know, I also see it as a just like paying it forward kind of thing, because like I look back to the teachers and mentors I had, and I'm so grateful to them, and it feels kind of selfish to just like hold all that stuff for myself. Like it makes sense to me that I should try to pass that down, you know, and it's through my eyes. So it's like maybe I have a slightly different perspective, or I have, you know, this information, and then I have this little new bit of information that I can add to it and then give it out in my own way. But yeah, I mean, you know, like all of us, we only know what we know because there were people before us who took the time to help us. So
love that. Oh, I love that so much. Yes. Awesome.
I love these nuggets of information. You know, we want the kids to have this so that it's like they can put it, I always say like your lunch pail, like your backpack, and put it in there. And then you just like, oh, remember what Becca said? Or Kathy,
right.
You know? So next question.
Awesome.
One of your most memorable gig performance or something in the dance world that really just inspired you, that just, I feel like when we share stories, and this, I got this from Oprah, when you hear, I love hearing her story of The Color Purple, how she shared her whole experience of auditioning. And for me, I was like, oh my, it just excites me. And so that's why I'm asking this question, you know. So what's your favorite or most?
I mean, there's a couple things that come to mind. I mean, I've definitely been very fortunate to experience a bunch of jobs that have definitely filled me up, you know, artistically, I guess. Two that stand out to me that were like just kind of big moments in my career. One was a concert special that I did with J.Lo. And of course it was like cool to be dancing with J.Lo, obviously. Like that felt like a, you know, like a milestone in my career for sure, because I was pretty young. But part of what made it awesome is the choreographers that I was working for dancers. Like that's the person we're working with the most. So it's like cool to be dancing with the artist, but the like you're in it, you know, 8 hours a day with the choreographer. So the experience has so much to do with what relationship is like. And I consider them all mentors, and I just was so excited to be working with them, if not more them than, you know, being the fact that I was dancing with J.Lo. So like that definitely was really special. I was thinking about this before we got on the call, and I was like, oh, you know, like that one definitely popped out. And then I reread your question, which was memorable. And so I thought I would also share one that's memorable and kind of ridiculous. One time you know, like you get asked to do a lot of weird things when you dance, which is an understatement. Yeah. One time I was dancing, it was the MTV Movie Awards. So there's like the music awards, but then I don't know if they still do it, but for a long time they did the MTV Movie Awards. They still do it. Yeah. Okay, I don't know. Yeah. I don't really watch MTV. Right. Real talk. And they hired a bunch of dancers they integrated us throughout the performance. They did what's called bumpers, like where you're dancing right before the commercial break and coming right back after the commercial break. We also did an opening number where we were all dressed as giant pieces of popcorn. So it was like if I was wearing it, it wouldn't even be in frame right now. And then there was like a little kernel on top of the head. And then we had yellow ballet slippers. And then we had to go downstairs in that costume. And I was like, somebody's gonna like end up like rolling down. Like no one did, which feels like a miracle.
I'm just picturing popcorn rolling down the stairs.
Oh my gosh. Well, and you couldn't see. So like, imagine my foot's just kind of like trying to find the step. I'm like, with my little yellow ballet shoe. And they were kind of like the not good ballet shoes that were kind of just stiff, and like the ties kind of keep sticking out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that definitely falls under the category of memorable. It was pretty funny. It's like, that's okay, amazing. We made it. No one fell. And at the end, we were jumping up and down like we were popping. Good.
Remember, young dancers, there's no role that's too small. Sometimes you have to be a piece of popcorn.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah, I got paid money. I got paid actual money that I put in my bank account afterwards. It was really fun. We had a great time.
That is so awesome. What a great memory. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm just picturing the popcorn rolling down the stairs. That's great. Okay, one more kind of heavy question right here. What inspires you as a teacher? What inspires you to do what you do?
I mean, I'm inspired by persistence. I'm inspired by people sharing themselves and sharing their truth and like, you know, being willing to kind of like break down barriers and like just let who they are out. You know, I saw that a lot in the show you mentioned that I was working on, We're Here, which is definitely kids, like ask your parents if you can watch, because it's definitely adult content. But some of the premise of the show was people just sharing their truth, and that's really, really inspiring to me. It was cool that I got to just integrate my choreography with trying to help people share themselves. Like that was really inspiring to me. And I think like kind of like touching on what I was saying earlier about teaching is just like, you know, I'm inspired by my mentors, and I feel like I always carry like a little piece of them with me. So just trying to like keep that information flowing and keep that information alive is, I think that it's easy. It's an easy place to tap into, right? If you're, okay, I'm going to teach a class, like just kind of think back, like what landed for me, what, you know, what mattered to me as far as like my dance education, and then like what can I then share.
Love that.
It's beautiful.
Awesome.
So the next are super easy, super fun questions. So just have fun with it. I always like to tell people, and when I say the word, there's nothing negative. I'm a nerd. I love being a nerd. I have like action figures everywhere. But when I ask those people questions, it's not like your typical thing. It's like, I kind of want to know what they ate for lunch. I'm very like curious to what they like, things they like, movies and books. So like we could just, I'm like, oh my gosh, what movie have you seen? And people are like, oh, like, you know, I'm not always asking like, what are you doing? How are you doing? I'm always like, I want to know like, what did you just have for lunch? Or when you could eat on an airplane, what did they do? So,
love it.
What's your favorite movie? I know there's a million, but just one.
Ooh. Well, one of my favorite movies is Elf. It's a holiday movie. I don't care. I'll watch it whenever. I think it's like almost perfect. I cry every time. I love it. I just love it so much. It's just so good.
You can see it any time of the year. It really is. I love the film. I love Will Ferrell. So.
Oh my gosh. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
Favorite TV show?
Oh my gosh. I love TV, and so I have a lot. I don't know. My brain just exploded. Well, I'll tell you what I watched recently I have a 6-year-old daughter, which was really fun, was The Floor is Lava.
Oh my God. I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's like a recent one that like, which is like fun for the whole family, and like, you know, they only did one season, and like we burned through that like so fast. I'm like, oh my God, it's done. It was so fun.
That's awesome.
Favorite song and or music artist?
Oh,
this has been the question of the day that trips everyone up.
Well, just because like there's so many good things. I'll just go with like what's coming to my mind first. One of my favorite songs, I mean, I guess maybe it's my favorite song. That's what came to mind first, is it's a Donny Hathaway song. And oh my gosh, I'm spacing on the title right now. A Song for You. There it is.
Boom. Okay.
I was about to make you start singing it.
Like the first time. No, I was going to Google it. I was going to be like, you guys have to wait. Because like another Donny Hathaway popped in my head. I was like, no, that's not the one. That's not the one. Keep going. Keep scrolling. No, A Song for You. I didn't discover it until I was like fully formed adult, like way into my adult years. And the first time I heard it, I started crying. So beautiful. I was like, oh my gosh. And P.S., like, just so you know, like, he's not the original. He's not the original singer. Yeah. It was a cover. But like his version of it just breaks me. It's amazing. Favorite artist, I mean, there's just so many good ones. I mean, more modern, I would say Alicia Keys is like, I always circle back to her. It doesn't matter if we like took a break or whatever, like I always circle back. Like I love her. And I've seen her live a couple times and it was like crazy good.
Yeah, she's brilliant. Favorite podcast or a book that you're reading right now?
Well, podcast. Okay, so I'll preface this with when I like both with podcasts and with books, I'm like a nonfiction junkie and I tend to like lean towards the heavier stuff. Podcast, I listen, like probably the one I listen to the most is one called Pod Save the People. It's politics.
Okay.
I like listening to politics.
That's beautiful. I mean that.
Actually, probably the if I was recommending one, the best one is Pod Save the People.
Ooh.
They talk a lot about social, economic, and racial justice, and I've been trying really hard to learn about that. And there's just a wealth of information there, and the people that run it have a wealth of experience. Like they're not just like, hey, we want to talk about this. Like they're really like extremely knowledgeable about it. And have really interesting, eclectic backgrounds. So like, that's super cool. I'm also like, everything I'm reading right now is about racial justice. So I also there's one about like feminism I'm reading too.
Nice.
That's my jam right now.
Love it.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say the one book, Good and Mad, is what I'm reading right now by Rebecca Traister. And then I'm reading So You Want to Talk About Race.
Nice.
I'm going to check that out because I am too doing like listening, really, doing the work. So I appreciate that. So,
yeah.
So 2 more questions. One word that inspires you or brings you so much joy when you hear it or when you say it.
One word.
The hard one.
Wait, see, will you repeat the question?
So word, any word, like it could be passion and it just like vibe, it makes you just like, oh, I love this word and it just fills your soul. Or it makes you happy when you say it.
I don't know, focus came to mind.
Woo!
I like focus. Yeah, let's focus.
Dude, I love it.
I like that.
Yeah.
How can we bring more love into the world right now?
Ooh, yes, please. I think listening. I think some more listening could help for sure. Yeah, I also think, like kind of bouncing off what we were just saying, like reading, I really find like, I'm just becoming more obsessive about information. I feel like the more information I can get, the better I can be. So I guess that feels like a good place to start too.
That's awesome.
I think it's when you know better, you do better.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. Focus, listening. I love that.
Yeah. it's good. But then I feel like there's like another part that's like, it's not patience. Patience isn't quite the word I want to say. I don't know. It's hard because like I feel like it's important to like challenge people and push people to try to like also do the work. But it's like, you know, I have to remember that like I, you know, 5 years ago was like, you know, like it took me longer than I am happy to admit to get to a place where I feel like I'm starting to really understand a lot of things that I think are really important. So it's like I realized the importance of like trying to like, hey, come join me, like, you know, let's all do this together. There's probably a word for that and I'm not thinking of it, but just trying to like, you know, make it like an inviting process, I guess.
Oh, I like that.
It's beautiful.
You know, we're all work in progress. And I think, you know, I think it's beautiful to share your vulnerability and be authentic. I think that's most important, to be who you are, you know, to share a piece of you, because I think that inspires all of us in some way. Even if you don't think it does, it does. It kind of, I feel like it's a seed and it eventually.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's absolutely, it's like goes back to what I was saying about like being inspired about people sharing their truths. It's like if you're willing to like admit where like you were wrong, or just where you're like, oh wow, I didn't really see it that way. Like I think that's a pretty big deal if people are willing to do it.
Mm-hmm. That's
so
amazing.
So I just want to say, Becca, thank you so much for taking time to be with us via Zoom. I can't wait to see you at the coffee. And we could be like, yeah. And I just love you.
Oh my God. In person, there's gonna be like a whole dance.
Like a whole
we're gonna have coffee. We're gonna create something. And
yes.
I'm so grateful that you allowed us to share this moment with you and just be vulnerable and be authentic and share your little golden nuggets for all of us and all of the dancers out there to be inspired. So thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, so welcome, you guys. So good to see you.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Miss you.
Miss you. Bye.
Bye.